Hey folks, happy Friday. Trying to get everything figured out here. Um I'm coming to you live from Longhorn Lester's, and I'm just going to make sure that we're looking good before we get started as far as signal, as far as the picture here. It looks like I'm like in a shadow, and that's because I have a bright background behind me. Is that okay? I'm going to stick around and wait for a couple of comments. Hey everybody. Yes, I'm actually not running late. So Lucky Duck says, "You're late, Lester." Lucky Duck, I bet that you and I are in a different time zone because I normally do lunch with Lester at noon. And so I'm actually right on time. It is exactly noon here. We're in the central time zone. And so, all right. So what I'm seeing is everyone says it looks great. So you're okay with the picture and the background. You can see I chose this spot because that's the romantic hot tub that I got set up for Jamie for her birthday. And yeah, that's about as romantic as it gets with old Lester. So thank you. Yes, I am in the shade. I'm trying to stay cool. I'm actually right here on the edge right inside the shop. And so I'm out of the sun, but I'm also trying to make sure I can still get a signal. I would like to go out there by the ostrich pasture and have the ostriches and the goats and maybe the cows in the background at some point. But our internet here is just not ready for that yet. It's still copper internet. And if you don't know that, fiber is what everybody wants these days. You know, the fiber is what most of y'all probably have fiber. We're not that lucky here. And no, there's no rain. I wish it were. It is overcast skies, but there's no rain in the forecast. So, lots and lots of questions are popping up, and I'm gonna try to grab a couple of them over here. So, oh, that's the wrong one. There. Oh no, I lost it. There. I wish y'all would slow down. Please, y'all, slow down a little bit. I'm gonna find that comment. You're gonna have to wait for me. Y'all go so fast, and there we go. Okay. Huh. All right. So Shelly, along with a few other folks, are asking about Gracie. And I'm guessing that you saw Jamie's video this morning where she was kind of concerned about Gracie. And Gracie is feeling much better. I don't know, guys. I think that she just got down because of the heat. I just can't think of what else it could be. But she wasn't eating for a couple of days. And when I would call all the other cows up, she just kind of like meander up behind them, just kind of making her way up real slow. And then she wasn't running to a food trough. And so that always scares you. But I'll tell you, I think it was just heat related that particular day because she's fine now. Don't forget that whenever you watch a video, it was probably recorded at least a couple of days earlier. We're trying to get better, but it takes time to get things edited, uploaded. And for Facebook, we had to get things approved. Because it's a Facebook business page. But Gracie is doing great. So thank you for asking and for worrying about her. I believe that was Jamie's video this morning. So, but like I said, that was recorded a couple of days ago. And this morning, I'm here now. She's fine. When I come up this morning and went out to feed, all the cows come a running and Gracie's fine. So thank you for asking about her. She's going to be fine. But she did put us through quite the scare. Howdy, Lester. I love that hillbilly hot tub. Yeah, it was pretty neat. There's nothing fancy about it, guys. There's nothing fancy, and you get to a point in life where it's not about fancy things. It's really not. It's not about fancy things. And I'm blessed with Jamie. I'm going to tell y'all something, and this is no put down to anybody. This is not a put down to anybody, but Jamie has spent, I would say, the last 15 or 20 years traveling with her work. So Jamie has been to a lot of places. She's seen a lot of things. And so by she and I coming across, crossing paths when, she was in her mid 30s, she's already seen a lot of things. So Jamie's not the kind of girl that wants to see the world because she's already seen a lot of it. And so that makes it good. That makes it easy on me because how crazy is it that Jamie has seen the world, yet she's never sat and was able to relax and have a couple of drinks in a redneck hot tub. Yeah. So that's how lucky I am that I got to give Jamie an experience that she's never had a chance to experience before. She's probably been in plenty of real hot tubs, and a lot of folks who sent links were saying, Lester, you could have bought a portable hot tub online and for only this much, and it's cheaper than what you spent right there. And maybe that's true, with the whole filter and all the bubbles and all the fun. But no, I think that right there, we filled that up with water and we let good old Mother Nature heat her up for us. And so by the afternoon, when I brought Jamie over and we crawled in and we had some drinks, and it worked out just fine. And so it is quite hillbilly, and I am not upset about that comment at all. I am not one to get upset about comments and words, and I'm way past that in life. So I joke myself about redneck and hillbilly and and everything else. So no, it's good though. It's really neat that Jamie has had a chance to experience so much in life, and so at our age. Now I'm only 50. I don't want to sound like we're at that age, and Jamie's turned 40. It's not like you we don't have time to do things like that anyway. I mean, one or the other could, but we together, we can't travel and stuff the way a lot of folks would like to when they start getting a little bit older and start seeing the world. Jamie's already seen the world, and good for her. And I don't really care to see the world. What happened with the water heater? Well, number one, we don't need a hot water heater right now because it's been hot enough. And that water, it heated up to a very comfortable temperature. And believe it or not, it was so comfy that it felt better in the water because when you stood up, it actually felt kind of chilly. So what does that tell you? And the hot water heater that I bought, I still have it, but it did not come with hoses. It did not come with hoses. And I assumed just from watching a little short video on Amazon that it hooked up to a water hose. But no, a water hose and the hot water heater hose are different sizes. So I will have to try to find a converter, an adapter, some way and convert from water hose down to the smaller size for the hot water heater. But if you don't know how that works, it's really neat. A hot water heater, the tankless kind, they never run out of water. The water goes through a series of coils, and as it winds through these coils that are superheated by propane, the one that I bought, you can also buy them electric. That water heats up, and so as water continues to flow through, you get a continuous flow of hot water. And our neighbor Pat and Dave came over to have a peek at it, and Dave said he has the exact same water heater over at his deer farm, at his deer lease where he goes and hunts. And he says there's been 15 people, men and women, who've all taken showers one behind the other, and no one's ever complained of the water not being hot. So I don't know exactly how it works. Yes, it does have a drain, and we will drain the water during the week. I'm not going to leave it filled with water and have to deal with, bacteria and the green stuff the way we deal with the animals' water. So I do have a drain. I will move it around to different spots around the property every time we want to fill it and relax in it. But you know that Jamie really only has time to come over on the weekends. During the week, we have a very consistent schedule, a routine that we try to keep in place. And I'll go ahead and tell you real fast what that schedule looks like. So I normally wake up. My natural wake up time is around 7:30 or 8. Now that I'm not, working with the school bus and teaching and stuff. So whenever I wake up, I go right out and feed the animals that I'm a survivor. I do the basic morning chores that have to be done. If Ben or Jake are going to work that particular day, I'll get them started on a job. And once everything is set up and things are taken care of over there, then I will drive over here. Sorry, I have Millie, who's right here at my feet, and she's messing with everything I got. I'm trying to keep her out of my drink. I had a tripod for just in case the computer did not work. And Millie wants to chew on everything. She's a puppy, y'all. She's a puppy. I'll show you something cute. I'm not going to forget what I was talking about, but Oh, sorry, baby. Doesn't Millie look just like an internet emoji that you have on your phone? Or if you type in dog on Google and you get an image, just your generic image, it's gonna look just like Millie. Millie looks just like a dog. And so I love that. Come here, Fiona. But the difference is Fiona, come here, love. Come here, baby. Oh, Fiona. Oh, sorry, baby. Fiona has a different look. She doesn't look like your typical internet dog. She has more distinguished features that make her really unique to, obviously you can see the St. Bernard in her face. But Millie, Paul Pittsburgh, do you chew tobacco? Do I chew tobacco? Um, I don't know if you say that because maybe I haven't had my teeth whitened in a while, but no, I don't chew tobacco. I don't chew tobacco. I don't know where that came from, but Millie and Fiona look very, very different. And I love Fiona's little, she just has very distinguished features. And I love them both, don't get me wrong. But I was telling Ellie that yesterday. Now I'm all hung up on what's wrong with my teeth. And I'm thinking, do my teeth, how are they turning tobacco colored? Too much Dr. Peppers? Sheesh, guy. No, I don't chew tobacco, and I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. And look, I have Dr. Pepper dripping all over my clothes now. Yeah, I love the puppies. Thank you for Deanne for saying that. I need to move on because my mind is focused on that guy's comment. I'm thinking, tobacco? Why? What did I do? Oh, he goes, it's just the thing that hillbillies do. They chew tobacco. So okay, I get it. So you guys may not know that if you're from the city, or you may not know about the hillbillies. That's funny. They would sometimes take chewing tobacco and they put it here in their gums, and they walk around all day and they suck the juices from that tobacco. I think they spit it out. I think just the flavoring of it is what they want and what they get addicted to, but they don't actually swallow the tobacco. So okay, thank you. I can move on now. Woo! I didn't know where that came from. All right, so here's something we're gonna have to talk about, even though so not everyone knows about this yet. Not Vicky. Thank you for inquiring. Vicky, you're actually on Facebook, and I know that because it shows the little Facebook letter F right there beside your name. So Vicky asked, how are the goats from I'm a Survivor enjoying themselves over at Longhorn Lester's? Now, Facebook, you had a rare chance to see a video first on Facebook and YouTube. Normally, you catch all the videos first, but this time Facebook we got lucky and got that one approved right away. And so I went ahead and played it. That's not mess up my YouTube order that was already scheduled. But we did. We brought all of our goats from I'm a Survivor over one morning, and they're all here at Longhorn Lester's now. And they're doing great. They're doing great. I'm going to try to explain this to you in simpleton hillbilly terms, okay? Listen, a couple of things I can explain to you real easy. You all know that in the summertime, when you go to park your car, if at all possible, you want to park your vehicle in the shade, either under some kind of an overhang, a carport, or a shade tree, a tree, because you know that your vehicle parked under that shade tree or out of the sun is going to be 10 or 15 degrees cooler than if sitting in the sun, right? Because if you leave your car out in the sun, it begins to sort of bake and it begins to radiate heat inside that vehicle, right? Okay, picture this. Longhorn Lester's has so many shade trees. You see a whole cluster there behind me, that there's very few spots in our goat pasture where the sun can ever actually reach the ground. So the goats, the ostriches, and the cows and the horse and donkey, if they want to, can stay in the shade for the entirety of the day. They never have to move or go anywhere. No matter where they go, they can eat, They can forage, they can graze all day long and always be in the shade. And I'm a Survivor, as much as we love I'm a Survivor and as blessed as we are to have a beautiful piece of property there, it doesn't have that luxury. It does not have that luxury. So the animals that I'm a Survivor are forced to go inside of the barn if they want shade. And that's pretty much the horses, the cows, the goats, the pigs. And that's very unfortunate. So that right there is one thing. Number two, and this is going to be a little bit more complicated to understand, but if you've ever taken a walk outside at the beach during the heat of the day, you know how the sand can burn your feet. Sand absorbs heat and it holds that heat and it begins to radiate that heat. And so whereas if you walk outside onto a clay surface, clay, it feels as cool as walking on concrete. And it actually does not absorb and hold on to the heat. As a matter of fact, clay absorbs moisture and holds on to moisture. And so over at I'm a Survivor, we have nothing but sand. We have sandy soil. So we're blessed as far as rain and runoff and drainage goes. We don't have septic issues the way a lot of folks do. But it does on sunny days, that sand absorbs that heat and it makes it to where it's like an oven. Longhorn Lester's is all clay. And so we walk around out here and the sun that does hit the ground doesn't really absorb. It just does whatever sun does. It's cooler here, y'all. Long story short, it is more comfortable and cooler here than it is at I'm a Survivor. Now, the goats that we moved over are not here for the long term. They're not here forever. They're here until about September when it cools off. And then we're going to take the goats right on back to where they belong and where they have always lived and where they help us maintain our pastures. But this is giving us a chance to kind of heal our pastures and cleanse them, as the vet said. It gets the goats to where they're a lot more comfortable. And so if you've not seen that video yet, I promise you it will come out on YouTube this afternoon. And I actually made a follow-up video this morning of me walking with the goats out around the woods and watching them forage. And all of the goats are doing great. So if you sincerely are here for the animals, then understand that making that move was difficult because it went against what we initially had planned. I'm a Survivor / Longhorn Lester, how we were going to work the animals and, but at some point it's guys, every one of us, and it's not just our family, but every farm family that you follow, I know they have legit and sincere concerns for their animals this time of year. This is a heat wave and a drought like we've not seen in a while, not since I've been raising animals. And so the goats are happy, healthy, and hydrated. There you go. That was the title of my morning video. And I can't think of a better way to say it. Healthy, happy, hydrated, in any order. And if you're here for the animals, then just be happy that we have a place to bring them. Because I think that you guys know, I'm sure you've seen the news of how many folks who have animals are having to load them up and take them off to auction because they just can't keep them. They're just too hot. There's no water. There's no feed. There's nothing to eat. And so we don't want to lose our babies. And so we're trying all that we can to keep them alive. This was not a decision that was put up to vote. It wasn't one that was put up to have your opinions on. It was what I sometimes joke and say an executive decision because it had to happen. I know the animals. I know their behavior. I was seeing things in the animals that I'd never seen before and in their behavior. And I'm not saying that we're out of the woods yet. There are still, like we said, we just had to deal with Gracie giving us a scare. And so we're just trying to do whatever we can to keep our babies alive. Okay. Okay. And so yes, I think someone just now said it. You're very blessed to have both places. And then someone else says, your dad said it was 2011 since y'all had this bad of a drought. And that's probably true. 2011. Yeah, I actually have a photograph that I included in a recent video that showed my yard in 2011 and how there was no grass. There was no grass in my yard. My yard was just like a sand dune. So Anyway, all right. So let's find some other questions to answer. I'm just trying to find one that I haven't already talked about. So I appreciate this. Vanessa says you did the right thing. Vanessa, I appreciate you by saying that. But Vanessa, you would be surprised at how many people were not okay with this. And this has nothing to do with Facebook versus YouTube. It's just to do with the folks who have been a part of I'm a Survivor for so long and have gotten to know I'm a Survivor with a certain cast of characters. And all of a sudden you see I'm a Survivor and it looks empty. It looks different. It's more quiet. And but like I said, this was something that we had to do. So I appreciate you and the other folks who are still supportive of us in that decision. And we can always go back and question ourselves later. But in the here and now, I've been a little bit of a wreck seeing the behaviors of the animals, and I knew something had to be done. And here's a good one. Oh, I hope I didn't miss it. And someone says, has the pond ever filled up? No, we haven't had any rain. The pond is not going to fill until we get rain. And we haven't had any rain. Yeah, so someone said, man, someone had asked me, how is all the goat? Hold on. So there was a couple of them that I can't find them, guys. Here we go. Here's one. How are the goats getting along with each other? How are they getting along with each other? And they're getting along great. It's like they never missed a beat. Now, Larry Dorr is email or messaging us from YouTube. You can tell that by the little YouTube logo or icon right there beside his photograph. So, Larry, the goats are all getting along great. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you a secret that I probably shouldn't tell you. I hope that Brienne is not watching, because I know that she's going to make a video and y'all better go watch it when she posts it. And do not let her know ahead of time that I told y'all, because it's going to make her mad at her Uncle Lester. This morning, Brienne brought her goats over as well. Brienne brought her two goats over as well. Both Pickles and the funny-eared Elfie are both here also. And they're running along with our goats. And so it's they're happy and they're healthy and they're hydrated. Done. Let's just leave it at that. Because, Brienne has the same issues that we have. Her yard has very little shade, sandy soil. Even her water gets heated up from the sun, so they're having to drink hot water. And so over here, we're not having to deal with that. So a lot of folks were asking about Annie and her pregnancy. And to be honest, guys, it's still a day-by-day thing. I don't know. I thought I saw what you all saw, and we thought we saw some movements happening around. And I don't know if we did see movement, which was about 2 weeks ago. I don't know why there's no baby there yet. I just don't know. Sarah says, I love how you say blessed, not lucky. Yeah, my mom taught us that. That was one of those things that my mom taught us, that she said a Christian doesn't believe in luck. They call it being blessed. And so even though me and my mom don't always see eye to eye on religion and certain parts of religion, I still have always learned to say blessed, because I'll tell you something. I'll just go ahead and say this to you, because I don't see how this was luck. I'll tell you a quick story that many of y'all probably already know, but it has nothing to do with luck. It just has to be some kind of divine blessing, some kind of divine something or another. But let's go back to the fact. That when I was teaching school for years and years and years, my principal made me. She gave me a directive that I was going to be the school's media guy. I was going to be the guy who had to go to the different events and take pictures and make videos for our school. So I've been making videos for our school, for different school events and school functions, for a very, very long time. I've been making she bought me a camera, not a phone, but a real camera, and she sent me to trainings to learn all the different, different ways to edit your videos, how to add captions, how to add music, how to, and you learn a lot from experience and from these different courses. And so, well before Hurricane Harvey, I had already learned how to make videos. I'd learned that for a better video, you turn your phone sideways, because in reality, most people's TVs are formatted horizontal, not vertical. And so there was just so many things that I learned about making videos from my boss making me go to these trainings. I would fight and I would argue and I would just pitch a fit and I'd be so mad, and she would make me go. And what a weird twist of fate that the morning that I came home after the flooding from Hurricane Harvey, I just so happened to, it was just in my nature to get out my phone, turn it sideways, and video. That was just what I did. That's just what I did. Never ever in 100 years would I've ever thought that Lester would be somebody who would have a viral video, much less be someone that would end up creating and having a very successful social media pages now with Longhorn Lesters and I'm a Survivor, and have the blessing of making the acquaintance of so many wonderful people from around the world. I used to tell my students, man, I taught middle school and high school for years, and I would tell them, you're living in a dream. That's a fantasy world you're living in. For all you kids who want to be YouTubers, stop it. You're wasting your education. You're wasting your life by thinking, oh, I'm going to be a YouTuber. I'm going to be a YouTuber. And I said, that doesn't happen. That's not real. That's only very few people can do that. And now, look at me now. I'm sitting here and I'm doing a live with several thousand people from around the world, and I'm making a living from YouTube and from Facebook videos. And so, what was it about me that was able to get out that camera and capture that moment when there were, guys, hear me, there were 10,000 other families came home to the same destruction that I came home to? Their home was lost, their vehicles were destroyed, whatever kind of yard or farm they had, everything was just gone, flattened, or just piles of debris. And I wasn't the only guy that went through that. I wasn't. This was the largest natural disaster to ever happen in the United States. And how is it that this guy is the one who's found himself in a whole lot better place now, even though there were tens of thousands of people who lost everything? Oh, Lester, you are lucky. Lester, you got lucky on that one. No, I don't think it was luck. I have to say there was just something that was divine in the fact that my boss made me. Think about all the antecedents. That's a English word. Think about all of the things that had to be in place, or that moment would have never happened. If my boss had not made me go to those trainings, if she had not made me learn how to take a video and edit, if she had not made me learn how to do different things, then on that particular day when I came home, I promise you, if I'd not already had that ingrained into my soul, then I would have come home like everyone else and just seen the horrors that laid before me, and had my moments, and that would have been the end of it. And don't get me wrong, there were tens of thousands of people who experienced what I experienced. Yet here I am today, and I'm getting emotional because I don't like to talk about that day or the events of that whole time period where where those were not easy times. But look how blessed I am to have been able to take that opportunity and been acquainted with so many of you folks, and now had the influence to be able to get my dad a piece of that, and give Jake a piece of that, and Sister Kim can have her piece of that, and Jamie and Ellie and Brienne, and who knows how many other folks will one day be able to have a piece of that, the social media, a window into the social media, who can also share their lives and share their stories and share their adventures and share their shortcomings and share their blessings, and um, and all of that would have never happened if it wasn't for this whole Hurricane Harvey thing, and the fact that I grabbed my camera and recorded what I did. So, um, so I'm reading the comments now. I'd stopped reading them for a while because it's hard to have a real conversation and have things going on the side over here. It's really hard. So I will look over from side to side when I need a talking point. But I'm seeing that some folks are saying that the internet is freezing. And if that's true, I'm sorry, I can't control that. I am at Longhorn Lester's where we don't have the best of internet. So you may have to just maybe watch it later. I know I think that when you watch a video alive later after it's been posted, you don't see the same lag that you see when you're watching it actually live. And right now we're actually live. So Hannah says, oh my God, the comments are going too fast. Hannah says, Lester, that does sound divine to me. And so I can't think of any other way. And then if it is divine, I ask myself this question all the time. Why me? Why me? Because there's a whole lot better influences out there of people that have cleaner language or a lot more, they're well spoken. I'm not. I stumble and slumber and slobber through words and sentences. I don't always have the best word choices at the tip of my tongue. And I'll tell you something that was kind of interesting, and I don't know if this is true or not. You guys are probably the best judge of this or not. But the lady who did the recruiting for Bear Grylls, when the Bear Grylls folks came out and did all that they did, that lady that did the recruiting said that after they did the interviews, she said that what they liked about me was I was organically funny. What does that even mean? I don't know what that means. Lester is organically funny. Lester is organically funny. And so I'm maybe seeing if someone can explain to me what that means. I'm trying to read comments. What does it mean to be organically funny is what I'm looking for. I've never taken the time to Google that. So Debbie says it's just naturally funny. And maybe that's true. I don't know. But I think that that might be something. I don't know. I still just think it's and then if I am organically funny or naturally funny, as a lot of y'all are saying, you're genuinely funny, you're just naturally funny, it means you're truly funny. Why do I have to be the funny guy? Why do I gotta be the funny guy? Why can't I be the one who why do I gotta be that guy who's organically funny? And then how did I get to be organically funny? And so then this is what Jamie told me. I bet you she is watching. Here's what Jamie told me. Jamie said that I probably had to learn to be organically funny to get by, because I couldn't use my looks. That isn't that mean? What the kind of things that Jamie tells me? And if she's watching, y'all, and if she's not, y'all better get on her ass. Jamie said that people have to learn to use what they got. People have to, now that's not her exact words, that's me. That's the way I'm translating what she told me. But people have to learn to use what gifts they're given. And obviously, I don't have the looks. This is not the looks of anyone, special. And I don't, like I say, I mean, hey, one guy thought I had tobacco covered flavored teeth or colored teeth. So obviously, there's a lot in that area to be desired. But so if I am organically funny and that's what it took, then I guess that's what it took. But here I am, organically funny Lester. Can we just forget I ever said that and y'all never repeat this again? I don't. Okay, well, here's one. Ooh, I missed it. Dang it, y'all. That was going to be a really good thing to put on there. Where did it go? I lost it forever. So someone says I have amazing and beautiful eyes. And so if that's true, I'll take it. That's a compliment. If I could just fix all the wrinkles around my eyes. But, isn't that the way life works, huh? Isn't that just the way life works? So, all right, Lester, you don't have to force being funny or fake. There we go. Oh, Judy Knack. Lester, you don't have to force being funny or fake. You know how to make people feel comfortable. Really? Okay. Well, thank you for that, Judy. I appreciate that. But here's one. Most women like funny men. Now, hey, I will say something about that. My mama always taught me and my brother, we call him Uncle Dan. My mama always told me and Uncle Dan, she said, you have to learn to make a girl smile. If you want to have a window of opportunity with any girl, you have to learn to make her smile. And so I think that me and Dan, Lester has great legs. Deborah, you're being naughty. I have bird legs. But me and Uncle Dan, my brother, we have learned to make girls smile. We can do that. And so, I don't know. I'll take what I get. Anyway, now I'm getting embarrassed. Now I'm embarrassed and I want to move on to something else. So what are some more questions that you guys were asking about? Your laugh is contagious. I feel like I have a dorky laugh. Have you ever heard yourself talk or laugh and you feel embarrassed about it? Yes, that's how I feel every time I see a video of myself or I hear myself laughing or something. And I'm like, oh my God, look at me. Look at me. And the way I sound and the giggle. Organic entertainment. Lester has organic entertainment. Oh, and the chicks dig Crocs. All right, listen to me. Now you really are making me blush, and I'm just looking for a real question. What is Chris McKenzie saying? I love Chris. She says, great sense of humor. Oh, thank you, Chris. Now listen to this. Chris lives in San Diego, California. San Diego, California. And I know that because we traveled to San Diego with Jamie's work last year, and Chris she knew that we were in San Diego, and she was this close to coming out and meeting us, and we just could not find the right time to make that happen. We had the family, and so we just really couldn't go, out of our way. And Jamie had a work schedule and all of that. So that's how I know Chris. And Chris has also sent me a video of her cat jumping out at the screen while she was watching one of Jake's videos, which is really cute. And so that's why I know Chris McKenzie. Never met her, but I'd like to. Chris, you beautiful smile. You don't chew tobacco, obviously, unlike this guy. Anyway, so I am trying to find some questions and get off of the the viaduct. That's funny. I missed it. Guys, you have to slow down. Could y'all all just take like a 30-second break from commenting and let me try to find something that I can talk about? Why stay sober? Okay. Here we go. Okay, I can do that one. Slow down, y'all. So I can't with you all. So the question was, when will Sue be making her move to Oklahoma? Guys, that's still going to happen. We're still taking Sue to the Arms family in Oklahoma. But you already know that Oklahomians, those Okies from Muskogee, are also dealing with the same heat wave and the same drought conditions that we are. And so I thought to myself, it's already going to be stressful enough to take a baby from here and drive them 5 hours to there. That's going to be a stressful trip for the baby. It's fine for us, as adults, as humans, but for animals, that would be a difficult trip to make. She'd be in the comfort of the air-conditioned vehicle, obviously. She's not going to ride in the trailer, but even so, she's going to be stressed about that move, leaving her family, going somewhere where she doesn't really know anybody. And we did not want to topple that with other things, heat, lack of, moisture, having to learn a new diet as far as different kinds of grass that she'll have to be eating on and different kinds of pastures that she'll be grazing. along with other animals that she'll have to make the acquaintance of. Some will be scared of her. Some may want to try to, put her in her place. And so we're just leery and nervous about doing that during this severe drought and the heat that we're experiencing right now. Y'all do know that the ostrich doesn't really drink a lot of water. They get their moisture, they get their water content, their hydration from what they eat. And right now, there's no water in the grass. The grass is dry. The grass is dry, and so there's. I just want to make sure that when we make that move, that the Arms family is ready. That the ostrich hopefully can go when it's not quite as hot. And so I think that Lester jumped the gun a little bit in my excitement to get everything sorted and moved to their forever homes. I also know that DJ wants the baby while she's still a baby. She doesn't want us to show up with a big giant bird. And so I get that. You want to be able to bond. I've tried to explain to DJ and Daniel that the ostrich is not going to really become social until they're about 6 or 7 months old. They're still going to be quite scared of anybody until then. So I can go out there and catch them, but as they get older, they'll get faster. They're not going to actually come up to us until they're 6 or 7 months old. Now, I don't want to wait that long, but if I could wait till maybe the end of August, September, that's when I think it'd be ideal. I'm just hoping that Daniel and DJ will still be able to accept the ostrich at 4 months old instead of at 2 months old. And yeah. So Gracie is okay. Gracie's fine. And I'm just trying to catch a comment that I've not already talked about. Tat is really big. Charlie's leg is great. There's not a whole lot I can sit there and, as far as a health state of the union, everyone's fine, guys. Everyone's fine. As if you want the specifics and the fine details, I'm concerned this morning with Pebbles. Pebbles seemed a little bit off this morning. She did not want to follow us. I took all the goats on a walkabout around the entire, 10 acres with all of the wooded acreage, and Pebbles didn't want to go. And so that kind of worried me a little bit. Also, you can notice sometimes a goat will have kind of a little bit of a sunk in belly area when they're not feeling 100%. And so I know that Pebbles is probably not 100%. And so I'm a little bit worried about her. You saw how fast Beth, that's Brienne's goat, went down on her. And so when you have goats, especially goats, there's no other animal, guys, there's no other animal on any farm that has as little will to live than goats and sheep. And whenever a goat gets down on you, many times they don't have the desire, the will to continue to live on and to push through whatever, they're ailing from. And so whenever you see a goat getting down, you'd be wise to go out there and give it some, a dose of B12 to kind of give it a little bit of a boost, and keep your eye on it and do whatever you can to help it along. So, yeah, I mean, if you want the honest truth, I haven't made a video about it because I don't want to scare you. I don't want to startle you and freak everybody out. But listen to me. Let me say this, and I'm going to say this for all the questions that you keep asking. This can hopefully be an umbrella to answer all those questions. I'm a Survivor Sanctuary is going to let you know the good, the bad, and the ugly of all of our animals. But you have to let us do it on our timeline. So I'll say that again in case you weren't able to hear me the first time because you're too busy typing. I'm a Survivor Sanctuary. That's me and Jamie. I only speak for me and Jamie. We will always, and we give you our word, we will always share with you the good, the bad, and the ugly of all of the babies. But you have to allow us to do that on our timeline. It was not my place to tell you about Beth. We knew a couple of days before you all did. We could have went live and told you all about it, but it's not our place. That Beth belongs to Brienne. And so you have to, whenever you're asking so many questions about, this animal, and you haven't seen this animal, and you haven't seen this animal, or you haven't seen this animal, where's Trixie? Or whatever else. If anything ever happens to Trixie, then Lester or Jamie will, by all means, we will fill you in, but we're going to do it on our timeline. On our timeline. And so if so you're still, so here you go. You're still doing it. Some people just don't get it. So I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be demanded to give you an explanation for any animal you have not seen when I just told you that I will fill you in on my timeline. And if you have a particular animal you're interested in, you might want to ask that particular owner of that animal. But I promise you that you don't have to think there are secrets being kept, but there's a time and a place. And it was the most recent example of that, I think, is when we had the pigs, the Lola and Petunia. And you don't know how hard it was for me to have to get on here and tell you what a screw up I am and the oversight. Because I know the nature of the internet is mean. I know that more, I mean, hey, think about it. There's a lot more pages of the devil than of anything good out there, right? And so I knew what backlash I'm a Survivor was going to take from that. And but I also know that we owe you an explanation. So it was several weeks after it happened. I had made sure there was nothing else dramatic going on in the world because I don't want to add to your stress. I made sure I waited until the timing was right for us to address it and make a video about it, and to do it with class and with tact, and to do a service to those babies who we had lost. Now, could I have come out the same day it happened and videoed a dead Lola and a dying Petunia? Could I have profited off of that? Yeah. Could we have made some money on that video? Could we have had us a big money maker? But guys, at some point you realize that there's things in life that are bigger than that. There's things in life that are a lot bigger than that. And so we will address with you guys every concern that you have, but you're not going to beg it out of us or scream it out of us when I see all these all caps and stuff. But we'll do that when the time is right on our timetable. And so there's a lot more that goes into the video creating than what some people think. And I would say that the only way that this page is still successful is the fact that I've not lost my cool more than I sometimes want to. Because even though I can sometimes learn to laugh about stuff, you don't know how many people can take comments and make it very personal, And I've been guilty of that. I've had my moments. I've taken comments and made them personal and taken them personally. But I will say this, it has never stopped me. Not a single soul on here has ever stopped me from making a video the next day. So boom to all of the haters. And there's a lot of haters, y'all. There's a lot of haters. It's funny whenever so YouTube, they stopped showing you can still click thumbs down, but it doesn't show you how many people are giving you a thumbs down. YouTube realized that there's not really a need in showing the world how many people dislike a video. And so I admire that, because it was always hard to make a video and you might have 15, 20, 30,000 people giving you a thumbs up on a great video and seeing 100 people put a thumbs down. And I was like, what could someone possibly see, wrong with this? Or, it'd be a great, powerful, inspirational, uplifting video that you took a lot of time to build and to edit and make it, something that you'd be proud of, a product that you're proud to show. And there's folks that are just going to naturally like, no, boo, boo, boo. Because that's the same thing, y'all. You do get that, right? When you thumbs down somebody, you're essentially booing them. And so Facebook should think about that, because you know that you can go to Facebook when someone thumbs down something and touch it, and it will show you who is thumbs downing you. And I'm like, why would anyone just daily, the same people every day, boo, boo. You make a reel, boo, boo. It could be a funny reel. It could be hilarious, boo. And so it makes you wonder, why do those people even watch? Because it's the same people. It's the same people. You get to know those names. And it's probably the same folks who are screaming right now. But I don't know. I would like to bro, I can't see your face. Guys, what are you going to do? Go in the sun? Not going to do that. So is that better? Is that better? Y'all want that better? There's no scenery here. There's no scenery. You don't see any of God's greenness back there. But this is funny. No. Why? If y'all would stop typing so much, I could read some comments here. Poor Chris is probably sick of she's probably sick of having her comment and her picture right there, because I'll tell you what's going to happen. There's going to be 100 hackers. You know, those guys from other countries, not from the US, not from the UK, not from the lands down under, the New Zealands and the Australians. No. There'll be folks from other countries, though, who are going to find that picture. They're going to click on her and they're going to write her a message. I love how awesome, your smile is. Please friend request me. And Chris, I hope you don't fall for stuff like that. So, oh no, I forgot about Canada. Not Canadians. They're not hackers. No, them Canadians are not hackers. No way. No, so I'll tell y'all something funny. I will not say, Chris, you take that back, because you're going to have some real freaks out there. Seriously. Chris just now commented over here, but I need a boyfriend. Chris, you're making a big mistake by saying that, because there's some weird people in the world, and you're opening yourself up to some real weirdos. But whenever you get your daily analytics and you see from which countries people are checking out your page and choosing to follow your page, sometimes you'll see some countries that you're like, wait a minute. Why would 4 people, I'm just gonna say any name. Why would 4 people from, let's just say, Kuwait? Why would 4 people from Kuwait? Now, I promise you, no one from Kuwait. I'm not making fun of anyone from Kuwait. Why would 4 people from Nigeria? Why would 4 people? I can't say any country from Istanbul, Turkey. I'm just saying stuff. You see these random countries pop up, and you're like, why? Wait. How did 4 people from Istanbul or from Turkey or wherever find out about I'm a Survivor? And then if lo and behold, on that same day, you don't see these 4 strange men who are telling these pretty ladies, I just love your comments, and I've tried to friend request you, but it won't allow me to. Could you please send me a friend request? And half the words were spelled wrong. And so you always know who the scammers are. And so what I wish Facebook would do, this is what I think Facebook should do. This would be so smart of Facebook. Why can't Facebook, with all of their brilliance and all of their technology, find an internet page that belongs to Joe Blow? And if there's weird profile pictures that are copied from someone else's page, that's your first hint right there. This is not legit. And then it was only open yesterday, and there's 0 friends. You know that someone's trying to use a fake profile to mess with you, and they don't do it. Facebook won't do it. I don't know why they won't do it, but it would be very easy to create some kind of an algorithm to be able to locate people like that. And so if they say that everything you put on the internet has a fingerprint, then Facebook should know that, hey, wait a minute, that profile picture that was just used on this new page has been used by this real man for the last 4 years. So they should know it's some kind of a scam about to happen. But yeah, someone says, well, Facebook is too busy putting good folks in the Facebook jail. You tell them, Lester. Lester may better be very careful talking about Facebook, because Facebook is my boss. Y'all do know that, right? You guys in Facebook. Facebook gives me a platform. You guys watch the videos. So I am indebted to everybody, seriously. Even those 4 folks from Nigeria. Thank you to those 4 folks from Nigeria who watch the videos just to find pretty girls. But whatever. Facebook could care less. Let's all stop talking about Facebook, because I promise you they're probably watching this. Facebook, I have nothing to do with what these people are saying. I want to find some more questions about I'm a Survivor or Longhorn Lesters. So if you guys don't already know this, Eileen will let you know. Wow, I love her name. Why do y'all think I love Eileen's name so much? Why would y'all think that I would love her name so darn much? Anybody? Y'all can see that, right? Yes, look at her last name. Eileen Lester. And so that's, she says Beth passed away on the way to the emergency vet. That did happen about a week ago, and that was all part of Brianne's video. That's Life on Morrow Hill. That was Beth with her baby. And so we let Brianne tell that story. We did try to help out. And but we were unable to make it to the vet in time, and and Beth did pass away on us. Okay, well, guys, listen to me. I'm seeing a repeat of questions coming up. No one's really asking anything I haven't already talked about. I will say one last time, it doesn't matter how many times you beg it in the comments. We will address all of our farm babies when the timing is right. And that means when it's right for us on our timeline. And the footprint in the mud. Mystery foot. Well, there, I can't find it. Hey, Mr. Lester Morrow. Lester, how's the water problem going under the driveway? It's still there. And that is a problem. I'm going to have to rent or buy some kind of a pump and pump the water out of there so that I can see what I'm doing. And then how do you actually remove the mud from inside of a culvert when there's so much clay has been packed in there so tight that water can't flow through it? How do you remove that mud? And please don't say tunnel yourself in from the other side, because I'm already claustrophobic enough. There's no way I'm going to crawl my fat behind into a 3-foot hole and climb in there probably 15 feet, because that's a 20-foot culvert. Climb in there about 15 foot just to dig it, because then whenever that water breaks through, it's going to flood over the top of me, and I would die under there, guys. I would die in there, and I don't want to do that. I'm not ready for that yet. Ask your fire department to blow it out. That's actually a pretty darn good idea. And they might be able to do that even with water. They can just put that hose in the water and turn it on and blow it out. I know the fire chief here because he's come to my rescue once. I will definitely contact him and ask him if he'll do that for us. And I'll make a video about it. And you guys could all go like his page, his fire department page. And please, though, if you do that, don't ask the fire chief, Lester will not tell me what's going on with Copper. Lester will not tell me what happened to Pig Trudy. Do you know what's going on with the third golden girl? Oh, my God, y'all. You got to stop already. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. I am going to figure out about that fire department and see if they can come out and blow that mud out of their forest. That is a really good idea. And I don't think that that should cost any money, because the fire department probably would do that just for training. And that's great. No, there's no Shawshank Redemption happening with Lester. No, there's not. Someone says, oh my gosh, make a big donation. Yeah. The fire department could use it for practice and experience. I agree. And I don't know if any of those guys are going to want to get down into the mud, but I would do that. I would do that just to be able to hold that hose and feel the pressure gushing through that thing. I'd do that. Lester, just tie a rope to a tire and pull it through. So don't think I haven't thought about that. I have a tire right here, a four-wheeler tire for that. I know that trick. And the problem with that, I cannot get my pipe to go through the mud. I cannot make my pipe go through the mud to push the rope through to tie onto the tire to pull back through. I would have done that. Yes, that's a great idea. And a lot of folks have done that to clean out culverts. But we have a 20-foot culvert, and I can't penetrate through the mud to even get a chain or a rope through. So, okay. Well, guys, I really do think that I've been on for quite a while. I don't know the exact timing, but it is 1 o'clock. That means I've been on for an hour, and that's all I got. Thank you all for being so kind, and thank you for being patient with us as we're trying to figure everything out through this heat and through this drought. And thank you for being understanding of the animals and what's in their best interest. It's real easy to look at what's in our best interest. And I'm just going to go ahead and say this real fast. I know that there are people, because they say it, who absolutely refuse to watch anything that has to do with Longhorn Lesters because you are very upset that we made enough money from YouTube to buy a piece of property and to develop the property to move some babies over here. And so I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to say that I'm sorry because I work hard in making videos for free. I never charge anybody to watch a video. That's foolish. You come and you watch our videos for nothing. You have to pay to watch Netflix. You have to pay to watch Hulu. You have to pay when you go to a movie theater for your entertainment. You have to pay for that. And yet when you watch the news, you don't pay to watch the news. Guess what? They make their money from advertising. That's why you have to deal with commercials. And so when you watch I'm a Survivor, or you watch From Suits to Boots, or any of the other channels on social media, and an ad pops up, that's how we're making money. You don't have to watch the ad. You can skip it if it allows you to, but we get paid from the advertisers. So every content creator has to make sure that they're giving you something worthy of your time, that they're giving you a product that makes you want to continue watching even when that ad pops up. And so if a content creator can work that hard and find a way to engage you and keep you coming back, then that is in fact the content creator's job. That's their profession. And so this here is my profession. So I don't apologize for making money off of YouTube. That's dumb that you would be demanding of me to be up to how I'm not going to give away. I've never asked you for a penny. I've never asked you for a penny. But what I'm saying, the reason I even bring that up is because there are people that refuse to follow Longhorn Lesters because it's a blessing of ours. And so that's why whenever we move animals over here, in essence, we're saying goodbye to those people forever, because they're not going to watch a Longhorn Lester video. They're not going to support a Longhorn Lester Facebook or YouTube page. And so I get that. If that's the way you want to be, then fine. Then that means you were never here for the animals anyway. Think about it. If you're going to say goodbye to Tex and his family, or you're going to say goodbye forever to Carl and his family, if you're saying goodbye to Huck and his family, or to Dixie or to Beverly, then you were never here for them anyway. You're here for yourself. And so I think the page might be better off without you. Seriously, it's better off without you, because we're here for the animals. We blood, sweat, and tears is what we always say for these babies, and we make a living doing it. And so there's no way that someone should have to apologize for making money. Funny story, then I'll let you go. Jamie manages doctors. Y'all know this. Jamie's job, her profession, is to manage doctors through the entire central time zone. So Jamie is very busy, especially during the times of COVID, when she's not traveling as much, but doctors get sick. And when a doctor gets sick, they can't work, guys. And so Jamie has to cover those shifts. She has to find other doctors from other locations who can cover these shifts. And so what happens 9 times out of 10, okay, what happens 10 times out of 10 is there's no doctor who will ever cover a shift unless they get compensated. And when I say compensated, it becomes a bidding war. It becomes a bidding war. And so if you want to talk about money and how much money people can make from their professions and take advantage of other people in their professions, Jamie has to find a doctor that can cover a shift. Let's just say an 8-hour shift on a particular date. And she will text doctors that are privileged to work in that particular hospital. And she will say, I need someone who can cover a shift, let's just say 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Wednesday. And so the general reply is, how much are you offering? And so Jamie might have to say, we'll pay you $1,000 extra. And guys, when I say $1,000 extra, that's on top of their salary. That's for an 8-hour shift to make $1,000. And that, I'm giving you one example. But do you know that these doctors will sometimes, they'll go back and forth until Jamie's finally having to offer $8,000 or $9,000 to a doctor to cover a shift. And so people get upset because we make a few dollars off of YouTube and Facebook videos. And I think to myself, look at all these doctors that are using a skill that they have acquired, and they have a degree, obviously, in doctoring skills. And they can sit there and they can fight and argue over who's going to take care of patients, who's going to be there for a patient that needs them. And so I think that you guys have it pretty good. Actually, when you come to a video and you watch it for free, you can choose to like it or love it or laugh about it or put even a, look at the mean faces right here. Y'all see the mean faces? Look, so it actually shows you who has given us a mean face. Can y'all read what I'm reading right there? Does that show y'all that number right there? How many of y'all can see that? So these two ladies here, Sandy and Sue, have decided to give Lester a mean face. Let's just look mean at Lester. Let's just peep at Lester today. Let's peep at him. And so I don't know if y'all can see that or not. So anyway, it's funny what people think they're entitled to and the privileges that you all think that we just deserve. But no, what we do is it's a job and it pays our bills. And so someone did not know that about doctors. Monica, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from being with Jamie about doctors and greed and selfishness and then how hard it is to have a doctor come in and replace one who has to take the day off or take the week off because of COVID or something. And so, yeah, it tells you a lot about people, but you have no idea the insight that I get to having Jamie have to watch her. So yesterday, for example, I hope I don't get in trouble for this. I hope Jamie can't get in trouble for this. But yesterday, they had to actually find a doctor who lived so far away who would do it, but they had to get him a flight, first class, obviously, a flight in, a flight back after the shift, not to mention all of the compensation that this particular doctor wanted just to come in and cover that shift. And so her company is obligated by contracts to do that. So I'll tell you. Anyway, I have already said I'm going to leave you guys for a while. So thank you very much for watching and keeping up with us and for the concern and the worry you all have for these babies. We're doing our best. I give you my word. We're doing our best to keep them all healthy, happy, and hydrated. And for that, we appreciate you guys for sticking around with us and allowing us to do what we have to do on our end. All right. We love you much. And you guys be safe out there. Okay. All right. Let's just log it out now. End broadcast. End broadcast. End.